Hey everybody. So like I'm trying to understand this shit too, because I honestly did not think that she would take it like this far. Like I said, like in the moment of the orientation, I was so overwhelmed with emotion, like I wasn't thinking ahead. I was so overwhelmed in that moment. All I could do was think about like getting through that moment. But that has consequences, dude. That has consequences. So because I chose to walk out of an orientation, um, all this drama has happened. And the sad part about it is too, like, for a very long time, I've been like, I'm in a really good spot. Like, for me to be at a place where I'm not even like, I haven't even smoked any weed today. Like, this is the soberest I've been in like since I was a kid. Like, you'd think that my parents would be happier than ever that I'm not continuing to perpetuate a life where I'm destroying myself. But instead of that, they're fixated on material. I mean, that's all it is. Like they care more about me working, which in itself is fucked up. Again, like, but then they just said it wasn't about the money. Like I didn't just make that up. My dad literally came down and told me that shit. And then they tell me it's about the social thing, but then I tell them that like, yeah, okay, then you guys are trying to tell me what to do with my life, and that's not love. That's forceful. And then when I disagree with them, they get angry, and it's like you guys are trying to control me. Like I don't try to control you. I disagree with things you do. I say they're wrong, but I don't control you. But you guys are trying to literally control me. And that's what they're doing. And I don't have funds. I don't have means like you guys have. You guys have much more than I do. And I know you've been doing it for a very long time, and I'm grateful for it. I mean, I am, dude. If I had any money, every time I've worked, I've always given money to my parents. They know this. It's just, but beyond all that, the fact that she chose to speak to me the way that she did, knowing the situation I'm in, and that just because I walked out of an orientation, this it's creating this much drama. When like I'm still at a spot to where I'm not getting high, I'm not choosing to fuck my life up. Like I may not have a job yet, but I'm still alive and I'm not using. Like that should be the most important. I don't know why that would be the most important thing to you. Like the fact that your son is no longer like choosing to live a life where he's killing himself every fucking day. Like it doesn't seem to really care much, but that makes sense now because she really hasn't cared. I mean, it's and she grew up in a fucked up family, dude. I mean, she come from immaculate conception, but her mother kicked her out, didn't want nothing to do with her when she was 18, and her father was a very, I don't know, he's kind of a strange guy. I mean, I don't know, yeah, he's a beautiful soul, but he was also very poor his whole life, like that. There's stories where my mom had to like, they lived in an RV for a long time, so it's like things were difficult. Like they had to be inventive with how they went about like even doing things like taking like bathing and shit like that. So she comes from severe poverty. Um, I think it's just maybe that's one of the reasons why I mean she spoiled us a little. I don't really feel like I was that spoiled, but a little bit, yes. And she's always liked to have nice things, and I think part of that has to do because she grew up in such a poor lifestyle. Um, but I also think this is why, for her, it's been hard for her to be there for her kids emotionally because she never had anybody to be there for her emotionally. So it makes sense, and my father didn't either, that neither one of them are going to be able to be there for their offspring emotionally because they've never had that for themselves. So they have no idea what that looks like. But because of who I am, that's just in my DNA. I'm good at that. I thrive at that shit. And they could too if they learned how, but that's just not who they are yet. That's also why they could be, and that's also why like I'm here in the place that I am to help if they want to. I could help teach them how to care more from the emotional side of things. Financially, I'm not the best at, but when it comes to emotions, I'm pretty good at it because there's something about that area that I thrive in. It's probably why it's been hard for me to find a normal 5 to 5, 9 to 5 type job because that's just grunt fucking work. When I'm sitting here like being overwhelmed by all these sensitive emotions with everybody, like I really should be some type of a empath type healer because I can read people pretty clearly, and from that's a very rare skill. Like I'm realizing that not everybody is able to do that like at all. So I can't help people in fucking moments because I can truly feel their pain. Like I can be sitting with somebody in the same moment and feel their pain. Even with movies, sometimes it's hard for me to watch scenes where people are injured because I can feel their injury in me. That's how fucking, that's just what I can do, you know? But that, it hurts sometimes, but it can be a good thing because it can help me relate to the person who's suffering. And in doing so, I can help feel what they feel, and then I can use what they're feeling with the information that I have inside myself to help figure out a good remedy for that person. So, but anyways, man, just, if they happen to see this, just to know that, like, it's looking like you guys are choosing to care more about the fact that I walked away from an orientation and that I'm not working, and like that's the overriding power of the house right now, rather than just like, okay, something that wasn't the best happened, but it's like to let it get to this toxic point, that in itself is a toxic thing. It's irresponsible to tell your child that you don't care, even if they did something wrong, even if I had done something really fucked up, like walking out and saying that to a child who's told you that he's suicidal. Like I'm not anymore, but I was. Like something is changing with inside myself. I was like just even a few hours ago, but it's now I'm starting to feel much better about who the fuck I am, why I came here, and standing firm in my strength. So it's just interesting. I have to be here to say these things in this type of a way because this is a lesson that needs to be learned. And it's not easy. This is the messiness that happens in humanity, but it's the love that will push us through. And I know my mom will calm down and she'll probably apologize to me, and if she doesn't, that's fine too. But I'm going to continue helping teach her from my perspective because she's sick. And that's what you do as a good human being. You help those out that are sick. If you feel like you know better and you can see something that might help them out in a way, you do something about it. You don't just let it go and not neglect them and not care, because that's what the enemy wants. That's what demons do. That's not what good human beings do. So I choose to act like a good human being, and I'm going to care. And my way may be a little bit different than theirs, but that's just because their ways is based on the demons that have been orchestrating this fucking society for so many years, and they've programmed the minds of humanity to think in this type of a selfish manner. So it makes sense that they're going to operate from this perspective of wanting to care about me making money more than me and feeling good about my heart. Even though like that in itself is going to make me more greedy, which is going to make me more susceptible to sinning, which is going to make me more susceptible to consuming and using again. Finding something that is resonant with my heart is going to be the best guarantee I have to staying sober. And if they really knew how shit works, they would know that. But because they haven't taken the time to look into how shit really works, they don't know that. So they're operating from the premise of what they do know, which is unfortunately limited. But it's all right, man. It is as it is. That's why I'm here to help fucking educate and enlighten them on things, if they want to be, that is. But at the same time, I'll have to do what I have to do to make sure that what is heard needs to be heard so that they can move in a good way, as best way they can, if I am to follow in my divine duty. Anyway, all right, love you guys. I'll take care. Bye.